The argument, Professor, is you don't like what he was saying, so you're getting rid of him. This is a political choice, and it is an infringement on the speech that we're supposed to hold dear. Why did the judge decide this way?
The judge decided it because he's not an Article III judge. He's not a constitutional judge. He works for the administration. This is not a surprising opinion. This is the beginning, a very, very early beginning of a process. It will ultimately go to an appeal, then it will go to a federal district court judge, and it will be very uncertain how it will be decided. Look, a green card holder is not a citizen. If you or I were deported based on what is alleged against this guy, of course it would be an easy case. That would be easy. But a green card holder, this is the argument of the administration, holds his green card conditionally on not violating the laws. And one of the laws, I don't like the law, particularly the McCarran Act, says that you can be deported if you do things that are inconsistent with the foreign policy of the United States. So the real question is going to be, what is the constitutional status of a green card holder? If he were just a visa holder, very easy. You just snap your finger, you get rid of any student visa holder. There's no due process requirements other than to prove he's the right person. And he said those things. Green card's a little harder. So it's I think this case will ultimately make it to the Supreme Court. And it will be a very complex, nuanced First Amendment issue. It will make law. I'm afraid it may make bad law, as Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes once said, hard cases make bad law. And it's the beginning of the process. We'll have to see how it comes out. And one more difference. One more point. It may be that the State Department has more evidence against him, but they want to have a test case. So they said the only reason we want him deported is because it's in violation of this McCarran Act law. We want you to give us that power. If the court rejects that, they may come back and say, aha, but we do have evidence that he may have defrauded the government when he got his student visa or when he got his green card. So this is going to be a complex case, and we don't know the resolution ultimately.
What do you make of the argument that he's a guest and you have some due process rights, but you're a guest, and we invited you here? We felt that you weren't straight with us about what you were about when you came here, and you're engaged in things that we don't just find pro-Palestinian. We think that you were anti-Semitic, and we think that you were encouraging people to support a terroristic organization as designated by us. Get out.
Well, that would be a very strong argument if it was a student visa. Student visas, they're here just as guests. Green card holders are not here as guests. They have a different status. Now, the First Amendment argument is a little overstated by his proponents. He can speak and say what he wants. In fact, he got his largest audience while he gave a press conference while in detention. And if he were to be deported, he could become the most popular anti-Israel, pro-Hamas speaker, speaking from Syria, Qatar, ever he wants to. So this is only partly a First Amendment case. It's much more a case about whether he has the right to be in this country. And he's not just a guest. He's a permanent resident, married to an American citizen, about to have a baby. I don't have particular sympathy for him because he has issued pamphlets that seem to have justified the killing of babies and innocent people. On the other hand, if he were a citizen, he'd be entitled to do that. So his status is going to be very important. If he did, in fact, commit fraud in order to get his green card, that will make the case easy. But so far, we haven't seen evidence of that.
Professor, I want the audience to know that this is a good reminder of who you are. You hate everything this guy says, and you have defended as much as anyone has his right to say it and whether or not this case is a good one. I respect that. Professor, thank you for making the case.
Appreciate that. I've defended Palestinians. I've defended Nazis. I've defended communists. Mostly they've been citizens.
Trump.
It's an interesting case because of his status. It will tell us. Well, by the way, if you have any children or grandchildren who are going to law school and want to know what to do for the next 5 years, become immigration lawyers. That is the hottest area of law. We're going to see immigration law in this country tested by this administration, and the courts responding. If I were a 25-year-old, that's what I would be doing, going into immigration law and defending the rights of these terrible people. That's what lawyers do.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, Click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.